What advice did you follow that everyone thought was stupid? My grandmother told me, stop renting apartments and buy the worst house in the best neighborhood you can afford. Fix it up yourself and you'll thank me in 20 years. When I was 24, I'd just gotten my first real job as a nurse and was looking at nice rental apartments. Everyone my age was living in trendy downtown lofts, showing off their granite countertops and gym amenities. But Grandma pulled me aside at Sunday dinner and made me drive with her through this expensive neighborhood I'd never considered. She pointed at this tiny, rundown house with peeling paint and an overgrown yard. That eyesore has been on the market for 8 months, she said. Nobody wants it because it looks terrible next to these million-dollar homes, but the bones are good and you can't fake location. I looked at her like she was crazy. The house was hideous. Broken shutters, dead lawn, probably needed everything redone. Grandma, I don't know how to fix houses. I barely know how to change a light bulb, she laughed. I didn't know how to raise 4 kids until I had them. You learn by doing. That conversation stuck with me for weeks while I toured shiny rental apartments with my friends. Finally, I called a realtor and looked at Grandma's ugly house. It was worse inside. Carpet from the 1970s, pink bathroom tile, kitchen cabinets that looked like they belonged in a trailer. But it was in the best school district in the city, walking distance to parks, and surrounded by houses worth 10 times more. I put in an offer $40,000 below asking price. They accepted immediately. My friends thought I'd lost my mind. Every time we hung out, they'd show off their modern amenities while roasting my dump. One friend said, I could never live somewhere that embarrassing. What if I brought a date home to that disaster? Another kept joking that I was living in the neighborhood crack house. They'd brag about their rooftop pools and doormen, then ask if my house had running water yet. I'll admit, pulling up next to their luxury buildings in my beat-up Honda, I wondered if Grandma was wrong. But then I'd remember her saying, pretty apartments make you a renter forever. Ugly houses make you wealthy. For 3 years, I spent every weekend at Home Depot learning to do everything myself. YouTube became my construction university. I learned drywall, plumbing, electrical work, landscaping, whatever needed fixing. My social life basically ended because everyone assumed I was too broke to go out. While my friends were posting Instagram stories from expensive restaurants, I was covered in paint trying to make my house livable. Slowly, I started recognizing what good bones actually meant. The foundation was solid. The roof just needed new shingles. The plumbing was old but functional. Most importantly, 3 more houses on my street sold to young families willing to renovate, and property values started climbing fast. The neighborhood was gentrifying exactly like Grandma predicted. Coffee shops opened, new restaurants moved in, the elementary school got renovated and started winning awards. Then the pandemic hit and everything changed. Suddenly, everyone wanted houses instead of apartments. People were fleeing the city, looking for space and yards. My ugly little house had become a 3-bedroom gem in the most desirable neighborhood in town. Real estate agents started calling me weekly with cash offers. Comparable houses on my street were selling for triple what I'd paid. Meanwhile, my friends were stuck in lease agreements, paying $2,500 monthly for apartments they couldn't escape. 2 of them got laid off and had to move back with their parents. Last month, I finally accepted an offer on my house. Sold it for $340,000. I'd bought it for $85,000 and put maybe $30,000 into renovations over 4 years. That's a $225,000 profit from following advice everyone called stupid. I used the money to buy a duplex in another up-and-coming neighborhood. Same strategy, worst house, best location. This time I knew exactly what I was doing. My friends are still apartment hunting, complaining about how expensive everything has gotten. They keep asking how I could afford to buy another house. I tell them it started with listening to an 80-year-old woman who understood something they didn't. Location never goes out of style. Pretty apartments are just expensive temporary housing, but ugly houses in good neighborhoods, those turn renters into millionaires. Grandma was right about everything except the timeline. It didn't take 20 years to thank her. It took 4. Now I'm the one giving advice everyone thinks is stupid. Buy the worst house in the best neighborhood you can afford. Most people still think I'm crazy, but the smart ones are already looking at Home Depot's YouTube channel.